we're gonna cover the 9/11 cross that they were gonna put up.
It's not late. It's still ongoing.
Well, is it still going? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, I mean, we're late in covering it. It's not September 11th. We're at the end of the month already, but but this is an ongoing case that they're trying to put across that they say, well, it was made naturally. No, it wasn't. It was made by men putting up a building. You think that maybe that when they put beams in a building, that some of these cross beams are going to actually, cross? That's the whole idea. And the thing is, when they pulled this out, they actually had people, oh, this kind of looks like a cross. So they made it shaped like a cross. Now, they said they would let other religions put in their stuff, except for atheists. We don't have a symbol really as it is, but except for the A. But they said it can only be made of materials that came from the site where everything happened. The problem here is that museums, as I understand it, have a rule that religious icons cannot be promoted in their museums. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments section below here.
It's publicly.
Yeah, it's publicly funded. Yes.
The memorial at the World Trade Center is going to be a public park.
Okay, it's a public park. Okay.
It's public land paid for by taxpayer money, and they're trying to put this religious icon, this religious relic, on that land, and just be like, oh well, it's a part of 9/11. Oh, okay, well.
Yeah.
Well, if they do that, they should reflect all face.
Yeah, exactly. They said
that's what the lawsuit is claiming. They wanted to reflect all face, or just have the cross down the street in front of St. Peter's Church, where it's been for like the last 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
Why can't you just have a park?
Yeah, that or just either put in all face or none, and I think none would be better personally.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Joe. I'm going to put 2 minutes up on the clock. Now we're going to I'm going to do something new tonight. Is that we have a poll, and we're going to put it in the chat room. I'm going to start the poll right now. The question is, should religious icons be paid with tax, paid on public lands, paid with tax dollars? It's either yes, no, or I don't know. So so far we've got a lot. We've got a yes and we've got a no.
Do you think a religious relic that was blessed by a reverend should be placed on public land with taxpayer dollars?
Yeah, that's
the question.
That's the question. I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to start the time now, Joe.
Oh, my time.
Yeah,
okay.
Your time.
All right. I mean, I'm a New Yorker. I live in upstate New York, and I go down to the city pretty often. And over the last 10 years since 9/11, and even before 9/11, I've been down to the city countless times. I've been down to the World Trade Center site, and I actually saw the World Trade Center cross. It was mounted in front of St. Peter's Church on Church Street, and when I first saw it, I was like, oh, there it is. I read about that, and I felt good. I was like, all right, that's a good place to have it, right there on the church land. People who like it and respect it, they can come, they can see it, they can even reach to the fence and touch it. I touched it. I've touched the World Trade Center cross, so you can see it there. And now that they're opening the memorial, they're making the museum and the waterfall fountains, and they planted all the trees, and it's a memorial. It's a beautiful place. They moved it from the church land over to the public land, and they put it on the public land, and it cost, I think it was like $11,000 of taxpayer money to move it. They've welded a plaque to it that said that it was, a religious relic, and it was blessed on such and such a date by Reverend so and so. So it's been, it's been prayed over, and it's become a religious icon now. It's not just a steel crossbeam that happened to be in the World Trade Center rubble, of which there were many of these T beams that broke off from the rubble, and many of these T beams have been sent out to other parts of the country as cross memorials from the World Trade Center. And so you build a steel structure out of these T things, and it collapses. You're gonna have a whole lot of them, and they do. Yes. They do. They just happen to pick one, and they're like, look, it's a miracle. God made it. God couldn't save 3,000 people from dying in a horrible terrorist attack, but he made a cross out of these steel beams that we built the building out of anyway.
Right, exactly. And that's time. I'll let you go.
2 minutes?
Yeah, you only get 2 minutes. I let it go a few seconds
I could go
longer.
on and on about this.
I'm sure you could.
Actually, I'm going to add one more thing outside of time. You said, is it still going on? Yes. On September 13th, the American Atheists filed an objection to the motion to dismiss the case because somebody tried to throw the case out on them, and they're fighting that.
Oh, jeez. All right, Medusa, you have. I'm going to restart the clock, and you have 2 minutes starting now.
Well, my answer is heck no. But I would praise it more strongly than that. I mean, if it's become a religious icon now, it should be given a home at a religious site. Or they should put up the Star of David, or they should put up the sign of Islam, and that means that Muslims would be able to go to the park and pray 5 times a day. Do you realize what that would be? Yeah, the conundrum the city would be at that time. I mean, it just should be left as a park. A park is good enough, and a plaque that used to be enough for Americans, to feel, I don't know, safe after a tragedy of this proportions. It gives you a touchstone of sorts. Why do we need to have a huge steel cross when, as Eric says, there's so many of them, and there are plenty of churches that could take them, and we can just make this a nice little park for people to go and visit. Otherwise, I'm afraid this park is going to become a big area of contention. Because I can see a lot of religious hate groups coming to this area, a lot of the snarky or atheists, coming there. I can see just fights and not conciliation or peace happening in the park at all with all these different religious things. So, and I've always been a proponent of separation of church and state. And so the fact that this is on the hallowed ground of taxpayers' hard-earned money makes me even more incensed that they want to put this cross right there.
Yeah, and that's time. I let you go a few seconds because I let Joe go a few seconds longer too. So,
can I add on what Medusa said?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. We'll just give you.
All right.
And then I'll add on what Joe said.
Awesome. You said that they should also put a Jewish star. They have put a small cheesy Jewish star next to the 9/11 cross, so they can say, "Oh, look, we're being inclusive." But you know what? Muslims who weren't the hijackers also died in the World Trade Center.
Yes.
And so the people who are for the World Trade Center cross are the same people who are against the Ground Zero Mosque, which wasn't even at Ground Zero. It's like 6 blocks away.
Yeah.
And these same people are like, no, we cannot allow a mosque at Ground Zero. Why would we? Blah, 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 blah. You know what's across the street from Ground Zero? Right
mosque.
Across the street, it's a church that's been there for so long that George Washington went in there and prayed. And it's right across the street. So why can't a mosque be built 6 blocks away? Because of Muslim hatred. And why can't why can they put a Christian symbol in the 9/11 memorial and then throw a little, Jewish memorial right next to it? There's the Jews. And then no way. Why would we put a crescent moon in the 9/11 memorial? Absolutely not. I mean, Muslims
all
died
about
that day. Muslims died that day.
That me, as I have a lot of friends of Middle Eastern descent, and they would like to see something like that there to validate their experience. But because a lot of people are under the misnomer that, radical Islamic elements were responsible for the destruction of the 2 towers, as Joe said, that's just bullcrap.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
It's just bullcrap. And I feel that the Middle Eastern people who are hardworking in this country, who are either born here or came here and went through the whole citizenship process, they deserve the same respect as any other religion.
Yes, exactly.
I don't like religion, but they don't come knocking on my door on Sundays.
Right. The thing is, if they're gonna, I think I have the same sentiment as what they basically put out and said: if you're gonna show one, show all, or don't show any at all.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And because there's so many religions, it's impractical to show all, which is why we shouldn't show any.
Exactly.
Religious
Sufism,
organizations
Mr.
own their
Pruitt?
own property to put up their own monuments, their own statues, their own buildings. They can put all the monuments they want to the Ten Commandments or to the Crescent Moon or to the Star of David,
Yep.
all they want on their own land that they own. They don't need to go into the city
Exactly.
park and stick a monument in the middle of it and say, there, because this is our country.
Right.
No.
That was not a religious event that happened on that day
All right.
in the first place. So I don't see why we should commemorate it with religious iconography.
Right.
That just
It was basically, it was just an attack. It was a religious motivated attack, but
it was an act of hatred.
it was an act of hatred, right? But
It
it was
had to be
religiously
People with the
motivated.
most faith that day were the 19 hijackers.
Exactly, and that's what they can't seem to get. What they don't seem to get across is that the fact is that they say, oh well, the cross is religious and a whole 9 yards, but it was religion that was caused this tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole what the funniest part about this is the whole blessing of the cross. I mean, I could sit here and I could say some magic words over my iPhone. My phone is now blessed. Is it blessed? No, I said a
Yes,
bunch
it
of
is. You
gibberish.
just blessed
I
it.
just blessed my phone.
Yeah,
I just blessed my phone. Yabba dabba
Blessed be
do.
thy phone.
Blessed be the phone. What does it do? Did it make my phone more phonier or iPhoneier? Did it make it go faster?
It means when you sell it online, you can get more money for it.
Oh yeah.
It's a blessed iPhone.
I blessed my iPhone.
It
An atheist
won't
blessed
get glued to the
iPhone.
ground.
Atheist blessed iPhone. On sale now.
If you can get it pried off the ground.
Right, exactly. But anyway,
right off the ground.
yeah, we talked about that before. Remember, never mind. Inside baseball. If you would like to make a comment, put it in the comment section below, and this section will be up on YouTube, and we'll read your comments on the air. Actually, we had from the last one, we had over 50 views, and we had 2 pages of comments. I wish I could read them all. One of the comments that was made from the previous episode says they keep on framing a dictionary atheist as someone who only interested in atheism, but that's not what a dictionary atheist is. There is no atheist anywhere in the world who is interested in only in atheism. So when they are setting up straw men in order to demonize them and try to make themselves look good in comparison. And that's by Kevin Solway. Thank you, Kevin Solway, for the comment on the page.